propping it up, it won't fall flat. Withdraw your consent and your whole stack. Be your own bank, be your own tank. You can't stop blockchain, be store lies. 3D printed doing laps like Daytona. Don't attract no cops, no donuts. Kinda economics doing all that.
Okay, it's getting real. They wanna hold us back. I'm trying to hold my steel. They wanna go for that. Cause all they do is steal. They don't produce nothing. I tell a status to their face like do something. But you can find me in the club or on the beach, yeah. And I don't really fuck with clubs or the beach, yeah. But ever since my freedom became illegal, I'll be damned if they force me to my knees, bitch, please.
Ahora, we need the agora. Pa' que no joda. Pa' que no joda. Live free, nah, they can't control that. We need the agora. Pa' que no joda. Pa' que no joda. Politics is rigged, you can't ignore that.
Computerized humanity. We all robots programmed systematically. Hack the system and create total anarchy. And disconnect from that self-absorbed vanity. Y'all ain't worried about the dozen of leaders who deceive us. Y'all trust the leaders. Soylent Green is what they feed us. Why they move their plans further? Forget genocide and mass murder. We more concerned with Justin Bieber eating hamburgers. Silent weapons for quiet wars. Riots fall, violence pause. Also they can silence yours. Defiance of tyrants, pious, hybrid wars. What we're witnessing now is just the mildest form. One time for my people on the right track. No cap, we need you to all fight back. Óyeme, no tenemos mucho tiempo. Vamos a prosperar sin gobierno. Ahora, we need the agora. Pa' que no joda. Pa' que no joda. Live free, nah, they can't control that. We need the agora. Pa' que no joda. Pa' que no joda. Politics is rigged, you can't ignore that. I'm plugged into the Agora's nexus. We need the whole community connected. We're the alternative collective. Self-sufficient and effective. Self-sufficient and effective. Each one teach one. Self-sufficient and effective. Free knots.
Greetings and welcome back to the Brady Bunch. Welcome back to Conversations in Anarchy. We're going to talk about a lot of things today, everything from Anarchapulco, the plans, the events, the fun, the festivities, and we're going to talk with multiple special guests today. So here we go. Anarchapulco 2022 Unstoppable is just over a month away. Catherine is on her way to Acapulco right now to finalize details of the venue. Everyone should be prepared for an even more incredible experience than last year. We have over 280 people in attendance so far, and we still have 120 tickets left available. Next episode, we're going to be announcing and featuring some of our cutting-edge partnerships that include Pirate Chain, the Dollar Vigilante, Freedom Travel, and Dr. Detox. As always, the most relevant and timely information comes through our email list. Make sure to subscribe at anarchapulco.com and join our official Telegram channels. There's links at the bottom of the email and probably on the website as well. So let's get straight into it. We're going to go to Macy. She has some updates for us on the speakers at the event. Macy? You're muted, Macy.
Whoops. Hi. All right. So I'm really excited about this year because last year, obviously 80% of our speakers were virtual, and it's like the exact opposite this year. 80% of our speakers are in person, and they are awesome. We have Ernest Hancock, who is going to be our MC. He's the radio host of Freedom's Phoenix, and he's kind of like the father of the libertarian movement. We have Dr. Rashid Battar, who's going to be in person. I don't think that he needs an intro. We have Max Egan in person. Don't think that he needs an intro. Andrew Kaufman, we haven't decided if he's going to be in person or virtual yet, but we're pretty sure in person. We have Susan Sweeten of Freedom Travel Alliance, Jeff Berwick, Shunya Murthy, who is he lives in Costa Rica, and he founded the Sat Yoga Ashram and Institute headquartered in Costa Rica, whose mission is to accelerate the transformation of human consciousness and contribute to the spiritual and cultural renaissance fermenting on our planet. So we're really excited to have him. I know that Jeff is a big fan. We also have Richard Gage, who's going to be in person. He is richardgage911.org. In person, Henna Maria is coming. She is an activist out of Spain, and she's just been making a lot of headway. She's really, really a lighthouse. We have Sean Stone in person. We have Benny Wills in person. We have Macy Tomlin in person. We have Jack Spirko of the Survival Podcast, which Kat will be on next week, which we're really excited about. Dr. Ben Tapper is also going to be in person, and he's one of the Disinformation Dozen. So we're obviously very excited to have what the media, quotes as that title. Lily Forrester, who is here with us, is also going to be speaking. Dr. Terry Tillert, who has been an Anarchovid favorite for the last year, and he was also at Anarchapulco 2021. Ariel Friedman, who's on our team. Christoph Melkadex, who I just talked to, and his speech is going to be right up my alley. A very spiritual man, and he's discovered some interesting things about the cabal that he's going to be sharing. Corey Michelle, who is, she helps us to figure out how to get from like 3D to 4D to 5D. So we have a lot of people who are spiritual. We have Beth Martins, who's now, this is her third time being a part of Anarchapulco, and she's a life coach. This one, I'm really, Dr. Mark McDonald. He has been making media headway lately. He is a child psychologist, and he's been writing books about how the pandemic is affecting children. So really excited for him. We have Piasa Nekosef, who is going to be in person as well, and she's a part of Intimacy Adventure. She's going to be talking about, Tantra and, how to turn that sexual energy kind of into life force energy. We've got Dewald Detroit, who I believe you interviewed, who broke out of Canada. He was a cop. We have Nova Ohm, who's here, and she's going to be talking about human design. Stefan Verstappen, who is an author. He's been writing books. One of them is, let me just pull it up quickly. I actually just ordered this book, so I'm really excited to read it. So he's written dozens of articles for various magazines and newspapers, and is the author of 8 books, including The Way of the Warrior, The 36 Strategies of Ancient China, and The Art of Urban Survival. We have George Roach, who is the Canadian and American Rights Watch Incorporated. So he helps people kind of learn their rights for Canadian travel. And he's also the co-host with Dr. Daryl Wolf, who is the Doc of Detox, who will also be at the conference. And he'll be speaking a couple times. We have Sal Mayweather of 3D Printer Go. Sorry, I'm reading. It's
Burr.
Not clicking for me.
3D Printer Go Burr.
Okay. Thank you. We have Erica Harris of empathicwriter.com, Kurt David Robinson, Todd Cave of Compound Body Training, Matt Baudu, who is of Action Academy. He's going to be talking about unschooling and different kind of entrepreneurships that children can get into. We have Chad Schwartz, who's joining us today for the Earthship Biotexture. Benoit Alouche, who is my husband, and he's going to be running all of the medicine retreats. Aaron Groshnab, who's going to be talking about quantum energy coaching. And Darren Austin Hall, who is also living and residing in Costa Rica, and I believe he's going to be talking about building land, but I would have to go look. So, and we're also, I'm still in the works of it, but Artur Pawlowski, the pastor in Canada, who maybe some people have seen his video during Easter when the Canadian police came and he called them all Nazis and kicked them off his property. He's been arrested quite a few times since then. He is also going to be part of the conference. We just haven't decided if he hasn't decided if it's going to be virtually or in person, but he really wants to come in person. We're hoping that happens.
All right.
That's all I got for you.
All right. Well, that was not a little. We got some good people in the comments here. Shout out to ANCAP. Good to see you. Kylan says, damn, this new Free Knots is fire. Hell yeah. It was good. Let's see.
Hey.
Yeah. And speaking of Free Knots, we have the Alex. Welcome to the show, Alex. He is going to be contributing or running the nightlife, right, Alex? Can you tell us about that?
Something like that. Yeah, I think it's been 5 or something years now where the Free Knots crew, shout out to Sea Traffic, Kingdom Come, we are sort of like the official, unofficial party committee for Anarchapulco, where I have the very distinguished role, which I'm honored to be the guy who makes sure that the vibes are up, the party is jumping, and then once it's time to turn the music off, somebody's got to, do that job too. So, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to Anarchapulco this year. We haven't really announced any of the performers yet as far as the big concerts and that sort of thing. But that's going to be coming very, very soon. We've had, some amazing names in the past, from the Wu-Tang guys to Immortal Technique, R.A. the Rugged Man last year. So always great hip hop concerts, always great, dance parties on the beach with the bonfires and all that kind of stuff. So just really looking forward to it. And shout out. That was, like it said, a world premiere for the new Free Not song that's going to be coming out in just a few days, I think, on my birthday. So we have a new album coming in the next month as well on 2/22.
It was so cool. He literally sent me that song like 1 minute before we went live. It was awesome. So thanks for that. Catherine left me a note for you, Alex, to mention the nightlife email content, as well as mention which parties, and also mention which parties need extra tickets and why, or something like that.
Right. So we've got like a whole rundown of 6 crazy nights planned for you guys. It sounds like like a fairy tale, but 6 crazy nights. There's dinners, amazing entertainment. You got to get your electrolytes in order and your supplements and stuff. Be prepared, because for those who really value that time in the evening, in addition to all the daytime knowledge we're soaking in, and then in the evening we're just like kind of just letting it all out, right? So it really doesn't stop at Anarchapulco. From the opening night of the VIP launch party is going to have food, open bar, fire spinning. This is going to be a great way to meet the speakers, the organizing team, and just get to know the community. This is a ticketed event, the 13th, the Sunday VIP launch party. So you can follow the link in the emails. There's another one that just went out as well right before this live stream tonight. Then on the 14th, Monday, it's the Anarchist Movement Music Night. So that'll have live hip hop, jazz, electronic music. That'll just be like a chill night to hang out and get to know people more intimately. And that comes with the VIP tickets. Then the Tuesday, the 15th, we've got the VIP dinner at Zebu's. So this is going to be like a really classy night out, delicious multi-course meal. There'll be steak, vegan options. And what I'm really excited for is during the entertainment, during the dinner, the entertainment is the Apocalyptic Game Show, which is going to be sort of like a throwback to like a 90s MTV style dating show, where you've got, the girl and then the 3 guy contestants with the various questions, but it's all going to be sort of like, doomsday apocalyptic themed, can this guy load a gun and, hunt you dinner and, that kind of stuff. So that should be really fun. Then, so moving on, the 16th should be really cool. The Full Moon Activation Fiesta. This will be a super high vibe night where we celebrate the full moon that night. Right? How perfect. There's going to be all sorts of, hippie stuff, fortune tellers, mood enhancers, whatever that means, but I'm looking forward to finding out. High consciousness music, of course, just a ton of really cool stuff. And that's included with the VIP tickets as well. And then a few more things. So the comedy show, this is what I'm really finally excited about, that we've programmed. We've done some comedy in the past at Anarchapulco, but now we've got Sam Tripoli, who's hilarious. Benny Wills is like an Anarchapulco regular at this point, but there's going to be a few other comedians, Melissa Rochelle, and this will just be side-splitting good time. Good comedy, roasting the state of the world. There's so much to laugh at these days with even my 9-year-old kid and I, we drive around and it's like all these maskers, it's the 9-year-olds get it, it's easy to make fun of. I love that word, by the way, maskers. Anyway, that's included with the VIP ticket as well. And then finally, the 18th, that's the closing night party. Same venue as last year. If you were at Hannah's, it was insane. Fireworks, amazing music, no bash to close off the conference on February 18th. So that'll be an incredible evening to close out the week with live music. And again, some of these are included and some of these are ticketed events. So just refer to the latest emails and the website tickets page for all the links to get everything that you need.
Awesome. Thank you, Alex. That was a great update. If you have any questions, get them in chat now and we'll try and catch them before the end of the show. Jimmy says, thanks for all you do in sharing freedom, individual rights, and civil liberties. I appreciate your channel. Thank you, Jimmy. I appreciate you too. Catherine is in the chat and she says, free nuts. I love the new song. And we have Rollapoliali 1776 over on Odysee says, sounds like fun, but F the vax BS. So I'm pretty sure that you guys have worked out ways to where people can attend the event without being required to get vaccinated or anything like that. Is that true? And if so, maybe Macy, can you just give us like a real quick, hey, here's how you do it. And then they can maybe watch the previous episodes or hop in the Telegram group to find out more.
Yeah, so for an update, you don't have to have a vaccine passport to come into Mexico or to get back into the United States. When it comes to the PCR, you don't even need to have that when you come into Mexico. You get a 3-question questionnaire. You just have to answer, you haven't had a cold in 14 days, essentially. As for getting back into the United States, we found 2 kind of different ways. One is to go through the Cross-Border Express in San Diego. It is this like skywalk, literally, that goes from the Tijuana airport into San Diego. You take an Uber or a Lyft to the San Diego airport, and then you can take your flight wherever. And it seems to be around the same price. Kat, the producer, tried this. You do not need to have a PCR test because it is a land crossing. Kat tested this, it worked. So that's one way that you can get back into the States. And then also, Kat is going to come down. She's going to be trying a video testing kit. And if that works, we definitely want to have those on hand at the conference. So those are 2 separate ways. But as of now, there is no vaccine mandate for United States citizens to get back into the United States, nor do you need one to get into Mexico.
All right. Thank you for that, Macy. He says in the chat, wow, thanks for that information. So that was good.
And I'll just add, join the Telegram group because everyone is always sharing like the latest, greatest, whatever schemes and loopholes we need to jump through in order to, remain free out there in this crazy world. So we have the links to the Telegram groups, and it's just an active community of people who will answer your questions. Even when one of us might not be available in the middle of the night, you can get your answer even faster just by asking anyone in the group.
Awesome. All right. Now to Lily. She wants to tell us some stuff about the tickets.
I'm going to sign
go ahead,
off.
Alex.
Okay. Love you all. Shout out to Lily, Macy, Patrick, everybody. Danny from the Crypto Show is going to be jumping on in a few minutes to take my place here during the call. He's going to cover everything about the Cryptopulco Day, which is the programming on the final day, I believe, of Anarchapulco. He's been helping out putting that all together. So love you all. Peace, love, anarchy.
Great to talk to you, Alex. Take it easy. All right. To Lily, you ready?
Hola. So yeah, I'm here to talk about tickets specifically. There's a lot of people wanting volunteer tickets or just cheaper tickets in general. Volunteer tickets will be launched in the next probably 24 hours. There's, I think, 17 of them total of 3 different types of volunteer tickets. First come, first serve, $300, but you also need to do 20 hours, maybe a little bit more, of volunteer work, depending on if it's the vendor volunteer, the registration volunteer, or shuttle volunteer. So stay tuned for that. Also, people are wanting just cheaper, tickets in general because they can't afford the VIP access. Well, we are going to have a watch party at Bonfil Sound Lounge. We're working that into it, and anybody with a virtual ticket will have access to that.
All
that's
right.
Really all it's.
Awesome. Thanks, Lily. And then let's move straight on back to Macy, actually, to give us an update on the hotels.
Yeah, so there's 2 hotels that we would, I guess 3, but 2 hotels in the area. There's one called the Mundo Imperial if you're looking for really fancy. They have, I think it's all inclusive. You get even like free dinners. Or I don't think that you're going to really need that while you're at Anarchapulco because we have so much covered, the whole day covered for 6 days. But if you're looking for something fancy, you can look up Mundo Imperial. It's where we had our Anarchapulco 2017. Also, there's the Princess Mundo, which is where Anarchapulco was held from 2018 till 2020. And then we have another hotel. It's called the Michel Hotel, which is located about 12 minutes from the conference this year. I do a lot of peyote ceremonies there. It's such a beautiful place. I saw dolphins there a week ago. It was amazing. It's a small hotel. They have a really nice restaurant. And like I said, it's 12 minutes away from the conference, and we're gonna have some shuttles there to and from the conference.
All right, awesome. And then let's see what's next on the list. We've got so much to talk about today. Oh, Chad, this guy that's been sitting here in the blue Anarchist T-shirt. What's up, man? How you doing?
It's actually a pentagram, so.
Oh.
Pointing upright for all the spiritual people.
All right, Chad. It looks like Danny, you've just joined. Can you mute your mic? You have a lot of background noise there. Either that, or maybe we can hear ourselves through your mic. Maybe you might want to grab some headphones. All right, Chad, you are going to talk to us about the Earthship and the orphanage situation. I interviewed you on Anarchist a while back, and we hopefully got you some donations that hopefully helped you finish that Earthship for the orphanage. Can you give us what happened after the show? How did it go? Where are you now?
All right. And actually, it's very fortuitous that Dan just arrived because he spent a night in the Earthship, so he can give you his opinion when he comes back. And so he gave us a Facebook live stream, so I was very, very happy to see that. The last time I was on Anarchists, I told you everything that we were doing, and we have finished the project, and it's about to go on Airbnb. We've had people stay in there, and it's not been officially on Airbnb, but the house is all finished, and it's fully off-grid, and it works pretty much. It's acceptable. It's not absolutely perfect, but it works. It's a totally off-grid home. And to be honest, at this point, the one thing of the build that I'm very, very proud of is actually having the children from the orphanage come to the Earthship, and we're having full-on classes and workshops. We're calling it Anarchy Class for Kids. We're teaching them decentralized utilities. We're actually literally teaching them how to wire up the solar panels into the batteries. I've got all the film and picture of us teaching the kids. So just watching the videos of us teaching the kids how to angle the solar panels and hook it all up, it's just been that's been my absolute favorite part of the project because yeah, if we succeed, it's a good thing. But the thing that's hit me like a ton of bricks is I'm done arguing with people my age and older, trying to wake them up and get them to see the light. And I'm like, no, those people are asleep and most of them are gone, the older generation. So I'm really excited about teaching the younger generation of kids. We can teach them Earthships, we can teach them crypto, and their minds, they just soak it all up right away. So that is without a doubt the best part of the job so far. So we've finished the Earthship and we're teaching the kids and getting ready for the conference. It's a very exciting time.
So you told us that Danny has stayed in the Earthship. Danny, welcome to the show. Good to have you back. How was your experience staying in the Earthship?
Pretty cool. I guess I'm unmuted. I thought I muted myself.
Yep, you're good now. We can hear you.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. It was very interesting. The battery power and everything was sufficient to keep the fans going all night because it is, it's a little warm in Acapulco right now. And so, yeah, it was pretty good. I did have to, fist fight with some mosquitoes, but other than that, it was great. The indoor plumbing is not fully where it needs to be. I mean, as far as you've got an outhouse for it at this point, but all of the shower works, the kitchen sink works, and everything's operational. So awesome. It was a pretty cool experience. The rest of the nights I'd stayed either at one of the hotel rooms or at the orphanage. So I was there, I think, 10 days, and had one one hell of an exciting time for sure.
All right. What like how frequently do you interact with the orphanage and the orphans?
I've been working with them for 6 years now. So, I mean, I've spent Christmas with them twice over the years. And so it's been something that's been ongoing. I know, a lot of the kids' names because there's usually between 60 to 75 kids, and some of them do alternate. So it's kind of hard to learn everybody's name, but I know them very well. They know me, and, the Jovita, who runs the orphanage, trusts me enough to take the kids out to the ocean and swim and stuff like that. So,
all right. Well, Chad, how often do you do things with the kids for the Earthship?
Well, speaking of, he mentioned he doesn't know all their names. Actually, on Christmas Eve, I went to the orphanage to hang out with the kids on Christmas, and because I'm actually teaching them English now as well, Jovita asked me to teach them English, and it's tough to remember the names of 60 kids. So I actually got their pictures with their name tags, and I've got the whole list of all their names because we want to organize proper classes, both for English and the Anarchy class. And if we really want to do a good job, we have to rotate in the different groups of kids and make sure that they're all learning evenly. So we're getting that organized. And yeah, I teach the kids sometimes online. I teach them English twice a week, and there's another woman in Acapulco. She teaches the other 3 days a week. And then as far as bringing them to the Earthship, it really fluctuates because before we were too busy with the build. We didn't have time to teach them all. But now that the build is over, we're having groups of them come in. And so, yeah, now that the build is totally over, I'm hoping to have the children come to the Earthship maybe groups of 5, 3 times a week. It's tough because they're in school, but I see them about 3 or 4 times a week, either for English or the new Anarchy class for kids.
Cool. All right. Catherine wants me to ask Danny about ocean safety. You know what that is?
Yeah. So there's some undertow that happens there in Bonefil. If you're a surfer and you have a surfboard or something, you've got something to hang on to. But I pulled a 16-year-old girl out of the ocean. She was floating, and we saved her life. But
oh wow!
So it was pretty intense. I had 12 kids with me, swimming with me in the ocean, and I just sent them all back to shore. And then I swam out to get the girl. And she was like, I thought for sure she was dead. And about halfway in, one of the lifeguards or something came out with a surfboard. And when we pulled her up on the board, foam started coming out of her mouth. And like, oh my God, she's alive. So we got her to shore and, pumped her chest and everything and, got all the water out. And she survived. And, her mother was there. And, yeah, it was pretty freaking intense.
Wow. Well, good job. Okay. We have some people in the comments asking questions about how to earn money in Mexico, things like that. Join the Anarchapulco Telegram group, guys. There's a lot of people in there that can help you with those general questions that we probably don't all have time to address today. The last thing I want to do with Chad is just to give him an opportunity to point people to his project, where they can find updates about what's going on now, and then we can move on. Chad?
Yeah, thank you very much, Patrick. You can message me, anybody who's interested in off-grid autonomy. And if you're going to be coming to Anarchapulco, I'm going to be having a workshop where you're going to learn how to wire up water pumps to solar panels. You can message me at triviumautonomy@gmail.com. Now, also, we want to continue our Anarchy class for kids, and I've started a Patreon because I don't speak Spanish very well, and my worker, Luis, he's the one who's been teaching them. I've started a Patreon so that we can actually fund this long term, because I'm not going to live in Acapulco, but I want this off-grid autonomy education thing to go on. So if you can look on Patreon, can I show my screen for just a second?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, hold on 1 second. I'm going to try to share my screen. Let's see here. Okay, it's going to show it here. So if you can support me on Patreon, if you're interested in this class that we're having for kids, You can look it up on Patreon. It's called Orphanage Earthship Project, and it's also called Earthship Education and Charity for Fundraising. Sorry, Earthship Education and Charity. So if you're interested in supporting this Anarchy class for kids, please log on to Patreon and support me in any way that you can. But yeah, if you can support us there, that would be good. And if not, I will be seeing you guys at the conference, and I'll be happy to teach you guys all the Earthship stuff that you want to know.
All right. Thanks, Chad. I appreciate the update. Cool project.
Yep.
Lily, you have some information for us on private flights.
Yeah, so as you guys know, we've been selling private flight deposits for the last couple of weeks. And recently, in the last couple of days, we cut the Los Angeles and Austin just because no tickets sold for those. There are still, I believe, 4 seats left for the Orlando flight. We're still doing that flight. And there's likely to be a really exciting speaker on that flight. So I don't know if that'll entice anybody to go and buy it, but we're still doing Orlando, but lack of interest on Austin and Los Angeles, it's canceled. Mm-hmm. That's it.
All right. Thanks for those updates. Man, we are flying through the agenda today. Good, though, because I want to respect people's time, but we just have so many updates. Next, we're going to talk to Nova. Nova's been here the whole time, and I haven't even mentioned her, so that's bad on my part. Welcome to the show, Nova. How are you?
Oh, no worries. I'm doing very well, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Cool. Well, it's cool to have you. So I think you wanted to talk about human design. What is that?
Yeah. So human design is, oh my goodness. So it's a tool, basically. It's a tool that's used to help understand yourself more, and also a tool for helping understand how to relate with others. And so at Anarchapulco, I'm going to be talking about using it as a community building tool. It's a system that's built off of various mystical and scientific things, right? Different methods and whatnot. But basically, it's meant to be used practically. It's, based off of your birth information. You get a chart. So it's similar to astrology in that way. But you get a chart that tells you about yourself, and it gives you practical advice on how to use it. And so what happens is then you would take that chart and you would experiment with different things and see how it works for you, if it feels true to you, if it helps you, experience life better. And so what I'm going to be talking about specifically at Anarchapulco is how to use this tool as an opportunity for community building, because there's so many people that want to build intentional communities and want to live in community in general. And this human design system is an incredible opportunity to learn how to fit together, how people fit together. You can see challenges, potential challenges. You can see what things are going to come easy. You can see where you need, where there's pockets in your community and you need people with different things so that you can run smoothly. It's a really amazing tool for community, family, relationships, and especially individual.
Catherine asked me to have you explain how this human design is applicable to anarchy.
Yeah. So one of the things that I love that these two just fit so well together is because the whole premise in human design is an understanding that nobody is an authority over you. Only you are your own authority. And it's about making decisions based on your authority, your inner knowledge, your body, the way that your body feels in different situations. And so I really appreciate that because, in anarchy, that's the whole thing, is that we are our own authority, that we're, nobody is the boss of us, right? And so with human design, there's this, what's the word I'm looking for? Like these two philosophies that come together, or not two philosophies, but how anarchy and human design come together in the same philosophy. The thing is with human design is that there's an understanding that, we're made for community. Some of us are made for community, and some of us are not made for community in the same way. And so it just fits really well with understanding where people's strengths are, where their challenges are, how to show up correctly, where to see that they are being what we call conditioned in human design by society and whatnot to be something other than ourselves. And I think the whole point in Anarchy is about, being authentic and being ourselves and living as ourselves. And that's what human design is all about.
All right. Well, thank you, Nova. Is there anything else you'd like us to know about human design or what you're doing?
Yeah,
so at the conference... Oh.
I think it'd be cool for you to mention how you helped the team with it.
Right. Okay. So I did a session with Lily and Macy and Kat and Ariana, and we all did I say her name right? Ariana, right? No, Ariel.
It's Ariel.
Ariel. Yes, thank you. I was like, that doesn't sound right. Anyway, I did a session with them. We did, a team session, basically. Got into a little bit about each of them so that they could understand each other and how each other operated. And then talked about where each of them have their strengths, what they bring to the team. And we talked about, I don't know if we got into it yet because we were going to do a second session, but another part that I wanted to get into also is how they can build their team with more people, like what to look for in more people to build their team for even more success. But for me, the thing that's so beautiful about doing this with people is people are able to feel very validated with this information. Like, I've had people be incredibly moved by me sharing things because there's things about them that they kind of knew, but they weren't really sure. And it just really made it so obvious to them. And it freed them to really be themselves and be able to drop the things that are not them. So what I'm going to be doing at Anarchapulco, I'm going to do a very short introduction to human design as a talk, and then I'm going to do 2 workshops. The first workshop is like a dabbling workshop, like, oh, that sounds interesting. I want to check that out a little bit. And then I want to do an in-depth workshop where the people that then have dabbled and maybe go and tell their friends or, whatever, that we can really sit down with this information and really dig deep because there's so much in here. There's so much in here. As anarchists, we are typically, family and community oriented and individual oriented, and human design has been an incredible tool for all of those things for me, like really powerful tool in all of those things for me. So I'm excited to get the opportunity to really sit down and help people figure this stuff out and figure out how this can help them with their own relationship with themselves, with their relationships with their partners, with their relationships with their children, with their relationships in community. I'm really excited to bring this, bring the system to Anarchapulco.
Cool. Well, thanks for that, Nova. Is there any other questions or comments from anybody here on the show with us for Nova?
I can say for credibility's sake, because I've known Nova for a while, and how we got close was through human design. She ran my chart, and I'm like, how does this lady I've only hugged a few times and spent a few hours around know all this, deep, intimate stuff about my life? I was one of those people that was moved. I was also one of those people that was, super skeptical on spirituality and there being anything outside of us that kind of determines things. And it was the combination of doing Bufo and then immediately after I met Nova, and it was like, oh, okay. By the way, Nova gives the best hugs in the world, so go hug her at Anarchapulco. Seriously.
That is a hell of an endorsement. Thanks for that, Lily. All right. Danny.
Yeah, I can say the same.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, Macy, go ahead.
Yeah, I can say the same thing. When she read, she did my human design chart, Nova did, and it really, really explained who I am and really helped with tips on how I can just be better. And like you said, Nova, about releasing things that are just not you. It was really helpful. I think about it every day. I think about what you've said every day, and I'm like, oh yeah, that explains, why I do the things the way that I do. So no, it's really cool. I'm really excited for her to be there.
Cool.
I love that. Thank you, Macy, for sharing that. I want to share one other thing too for myself. I've been a community builder for decades now, and I've always been afraid to live in community because I I don't feel like I fit in community in the traditional way. You know, when we talk about community, I think of people thinking that I'm going to go out and like garden and like do all of these physical things. And like, I'm not made for physical things. And so I always thought, well, maybe I don't fit in intentional communities then, because I don't have those, you know, 20 hours a week to do physical labor in a community. And so learning about human design and applying it in community, because I lived in community with Kat and then another person and then another, there were 4 of us families total that all lived together for, well, Kat lived there for a year and the rest of us lived there I lived there for almost three and a half years. And being able to apply that and be able to understand each other through this through this lens of human design just made so many things just work that could have potentially been really big problems. You know, we were able to understand each other more. We were able to meet each other's needs better. It's just been, it's a really incredible community building tool, like I keep saying.
Yeah, I did a couples reading with Nova right after Anarchapulco this year, and it helped in all sorts of ways for us to just understand how the other person works, because like, I mean, you can get to know somebody that you live with, but like there are certain core aspects of them that like until they learn about it through human design, they're not going to fully understand. But it can make communication and relating and dealing with each other when you're emotional, like how to respond when you're emotional. That's the huge thing. Like, you know, every couple's different, and it's interesting to see how how people activate each other.
I love that. Thank you, Lily.
Cool. All right. Danny, you've been putting us all to shame with by far the best video background. So let's.
Yeah, that's I'm in Yalapa. I'm in Yalapa, south of Puerto Vallarta, and it's like the most amazing town I've ever been in. I'm here with Josh Sigurdsson and another guy named Henza. We're just hanging out, exploring, going to waterfalls, and it's amazing. Unfortunately, I came with my backpack, and I don't have any notes or anything, so knowing who all the speakers are may be a problem, but I can tell you the ones I remember if you're interested in that.
Well, how about this? So you're involved heavily with the Cryptopulco Day, and so why don't you tell us the speakers you do remember? And then maybe Macy, while he's talking about that, you can maybe look up some of the crypto speakers that he didn't list, and then we can maybe cover them all that way.
We have confirmed our Paul Pue of Edge, I think Lutz from Pirate Chain, and then, maybe Ladar Levison. We're not sure on that, whether he's going to be there or not. Josh from Volturo. I'm not sure if he'll be able to make it, but he would be able to do it virtually, I believe. So, and that's a really good one. Colin Cantrell from Nexus Earth. He's going to blow your mind with some new free internet. He's calling it actually unstoppable internet. And when I was talking to him, I'm like, well, that's the theme for the conference. So you have to be here. You don't even have a choice. You're coming. So, who are some of the other ones? Mike Mamula with Epic Cash. Let's see. I just don't remember all of them so far.
Raphael Laverde, Chris Guida, Lutz.
Yeah, Chris Guida from Start 9. That's going to be a good one there. I've known Chris for a very long time, and I've never seen him speak anywhere, but he's a great dude. And he's got some good information. I don't know if you're familiar with Start 9 or not, but definitely look into that project. It's pretty cool.
Dr. Sarah Mansky.
Yes, Mansky. She's going to be not really from the Anarchy side. She's more of the legal side of things. So I figured it might be good to have the legal perspective on crypto come and sit in and share some of those ideas. But what I'm looking for in the people that we are bringing is people who have solutions in crypto and not just a bunch of BS. I'm trying to get some other people who are doing NFTs. I know we do have a sponsor, I think, that's going to be there talking about NFTs. But I'm working on somebody. I guess I can't announce his name yet in case he says no, but it'll be pretty dang cool. As far as the orphanage goes, I went there with Todd when he was doing the English class, and I was like, how is this guy who can't speak Spanish going to teach these kids English? And it was amazing. He was just playing these games with them and everything. It was super cool. And then the next day, some of the girls are speaking to me, in English. It was really cool. One of the plans that I do have.
Not Todd.
What?
But my name's not Chad. My name's not Todd. It's Chad.
Chad.
Oh, okay. Well,
it's okay.
Yeah, well, maybe I smoked too much. Anyway, as far as the orphanage, I'm planning on doing a new project with them. Hopefully, we can use some of the same ideas from the Earthship. There's a problem with people just building palapas in front of the orphanage and just having massage sessions and liquor and all kinds of stuff. So I want to push them out of there and build a bicycle track that will occupy that area so that they can't come back and rebuild the palapas. And because of the sand, I want to use the tires and stuff that they use from the Earthship as kind of a base for the building the bicycle track. And then I've already talked to Jovita about it. She said that the neighborhood kids would be involved too. And so that in that neighborhood, there's not really a lot for kids to do. And so I think if we build something like that, maybe even some skateboard ramps or something, it'll be pretty cool.
Okay, awesome. Well, thanks for that update. And Catherine wanted me to ask you to spend a few minutes describing Start 9, like what that technology is that's so cool. And then before you do, I'll just point out that I interviewed David from Start 9 on this channel not too long ago. Back in October, and we did like a deep dive into their Embassy Box project. So you want to talk to us a little bit about that?
Well, you did the interview, so you probably know more about it than I do. Okay. But I know it is. It's basically a Raspberry Pi that allows you to build apps. So they have basically an app store that you can run Monero nodes, I think Bitcoin nodes. So there's several different types of cryptocurrency nodes that you can run in there, as well as just whatever type of app that you want to design. And so people who would have the box would be able to access the apps, your own wallets or whatever you want.
That's a pretty good summary. Yeah, I couldn't add too much to it. It's built to run on a Raspberry. It's built to allow you to plug in other people's software so that you can run it yourself, self-host this stuff in a decentralized way. I work at Float, the social media network, and we do have future plans to move towards a decentralized social media network. And if we do, it's highly likely that we will probably target something like the Embassy Box, probably the Embassy Box with Start 9. So we've even, had some talks with them about it already. It's a really, really cool project.
If enough of those boxes are out there, we could, create our own decentralized telegrams and stuff like that. So.
Yep. Very cool stuff. Okay. Well, we have reached the end of our agenda. So let's just kind of do a round. Oh, go ahead, Macy.
Oh, no, go ahead. We can do a round.
Okay. I was just going to go around and let everybody, say, I guess, last words, final words. I wanted to give everybody an opportunity. We haven't talked since last year. It's been a whole year. That's the boomer joke, right? So it's been a whole year since we've seen you guys. So, what have you learned from last year? Maybe mention something that some meaning that you've gotten from the past year of insanity that we've been through, or some hopeful message or something. Why don't we start with Nova? Nova, surprise.
Yeah. Well, goodness gracious, I'm like, where do I even begin? That is so huge.
I can come back to you if you want a second.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
Macy's definitely got something on her mind. I can see it in her eyes.
You know me so well, Patrick. You were my brother in a past life or something. For 2021, I learned discernment. I work with medicine, and there's so much confusing information coming in. You know, even in our movement, there's a lot of confusion. So I learned discernment, and actually it was with Nova's help that I realized, like, I need 28 days to make a decision. And I think that was my biggest lesson, is don't jump on, if I, have an intuition, I need to do something, wait and don't jump on it. Take everything with a grain of salt, and really just step back and meditate, and, try to see things through my own eyes and not everybody else's. There's just so much, there's just so much going on. So that was my biggest lesson.
Awesome. Danny?
Let's see. Oh, okay. You unmuted me. I guess for 2021, I was freer than I've ever been. It's the greatest year of my life, and I have nothing to complain about. You're only as restricted as you let them restrict you. So stop letting them restrict you, damn it.
That's really good. That's really good. Yep. Freedom is not begged for through a political process. It is taken. Good message. Lily.
The biggest thing that I learned last year is kind of something I was already coming to, but like, it's just kind of agorism in general. There's not really anything to be gained at this point to be bitching about what's going on or to be fighting with people around you. Like, it's best to be building what you want to see, and if you're fighting with those around you, you need to find new people, because life is not supposed to be a fight and a struggle and a battle. It's supposed to be chill with lots of work and passion and happiness and maybe some aerial silks.
Chad.
All right, this has been a year of extremes for me. Extreme highs, extreme lows, huge successes, huge failures, the most extreme year of my life. And to be honest, COVID is probably one of the best things that's ever happened to me, because I was stuck here in Acapulco. I could not leave for the last 2 years, and I've achieved more of my bucket list and life goals than ever. So this is the first time in my life I'm actually super excited and happy for what's going on within my life and what's going to be happening in the world. It's going to be whatever we decide to make it. And when I saw that the theme of Anarchapulco was unstoppable, I was like, hell yeah, because that's been my whole attitude this whole year. It's like, don't stop. No matter what's going wrong, just keep going and do it. So it's going to be an incredible year up ahead.
Awesome. Thank you, Chad. I'll go next, and then Nova will get the last word. So I guess I work at Float Social Network. I spend all day thinking about how people relate to each other on the internet. These connections that people make on these websites are vital. They're really important. They've become very real. But we've lost the limitations that like a geographical community provided. And I kind of discovered that back when I was like over the weekend. I discovered that BBSs, it's like the boomers in prior will know what I'm talking about when I say BBSs. It was right before the internet. We had the ability with our computers to dial into other computers, and there was these little private communities where you had to literally have one computer call another computer to chat and to send messages and to share files and things like that with each other. And that was an internet that provided the social connections that these websites give us now, but they did it in that close-knit, closed, proximate sort of way. And I just want to remind people, I guess this is what I've learned. It's like social media gives you access to every brain on the planet. And that's not really always a good thing. There's a lot of toxicity out there. There's a lot of connections that will drain your life and your happiness and your emotional energy away, to use Macy's language, right? But make your close-knit community using whatever tools you want. It doesn't even have to be geographical. It can be on any community, but close it, like decide who's in, form that community, help each other, bolster each other, back each other up, support, like build an actual community that doesn't include the entire world, and find tools that facilitate that instead of tools like Twitter that force you to interact with every human brain on the planet, which it's just not good. It's toxic. That's where I'm at. That's my lesson. Maybe I'm online too much, but those are my thoughts. Nova?
I'm so glad you went before me, because that's definitely a theme that's been coming up for me also. Just getting clear about who really is my tribe, like who I really want to spend my energy on and who I want to be connected to, and how I want to use my phone and social media. I mean, before social media, I had a life that was lived outside of social media. And now it just feels like so much of my life is lived in social media and in my phone. And I'm grateful for these connections that I'm able to make because of it. But also I've been kind of feeling into life outside of social media. And so that's kind of been my thing. I went to a rally the other day here we just moved. So we're in this little teeny town, and it was a huge medical freedom rally. It was amazing. There were so many people considering how small the town is. It was awesome. And my youngest daughter went with me, and we found some signs that were already pre-made. And one of them said, I don't co-parent with the government. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I love it. So I'm grateful to have these, physical connections with people and to be building a life outside of social media.
Awesome. All right. Anything else? Anybody? We're about to end the stream right now. Raise your hand if you have anything else. Oh, he raised his hands, but it was peace signs, so I think that means no. All right. Guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out in the comments. Your questions were great. It's good to see you guys again. Let's make this year a different year. Let's make it a better year. All right, everybody. Peace, love, and anarchy.